Bonjour, bienvenue à la voix passive avec Madame Gillen. On va discuter la voix passive. Mais qu'est-ce que c'est? Voici un exemple. Regardez bien le bande dessiné. Monsieur, Julien a perdu les cahiers de texte. Oh non, les cahiers de texte a été perdu par Julien. Catastrophe. Donc voilà un très bon exemple de la voix passive et la voix active. So let's start with the active voice, la voix active. Julien a perdu le cahier de texte. The doer of the sentence is Julien. The action of the sentence is a perdu, lost. And the receiver of the action is le cahier, le cahier. So Julien a perdu le cahier. Julien lost the notebook. So Julien is the one performing the action of the verb onto the notebook that receives it. That's active voice. D'accord? Regardez bien la voix passive. Le cahier de texte a été perdu par Julien. The receiver is now the subject of our sentence. It's receiving the action of the verb still, but it's now the subject of our verb. Le cahier. The action is still perdu. It's still to lose, still perdre, but now it's a été perdu, was lost, was lost. Julien, he's still the doer, but now it's par Julien, so he's the one who's still performing the action, but because he's the object of our sentence, the action is being done by him, by Julien. Let's look at them side by side. So, la voix active, Julien a perdu le cahier de texte. La voix passive, le cahier de texte a été perdu par Julien. Julien, the doer, some people like to call him the agent. He's the subject of our active sentence, and he becomes the object of our passive sentence. But we've also now added par, by Julien. Our verb a perdu is the action of the sentence. Losing is what's happening here, and Julien is the one doing it. Now we're going to transform a perdu into a été perdu. So lost now becomes was lost, was lost. This is huge. Pay attention to that. It'll be important later. Our object of our sentence, le cahier de texte, is the receiver of the action. It's receiving the action of lost. We now are moving it to the subject of our sentence, and it's still receiving that action. Le cahier de texte was lost by Julien. Again, when we look at la voix active, our focus is on Julien, our subject that's performing the action. Our focus is on him. Où est mon cahier de texte? Oh, je l'ai perdu. Right? He's the one doing the losing. When we take a look at la voix passive, our focus is now on that cahier, that notebook. Voici le cahier. Regarde, un cahier. Mais c'est le cahier de qui? Le cahier a été perdu par qui? Who lost this notebook, this cahier, active? The notebook was lost by whom? Passive. Let's take a look at it another way. In the passive voice, the action described by the verb is being done to the subject by an agent. Take this cookie. The cookie is being eaten. The cookie is being eaten by Cookie Monster, right? He is the active person. He's the one performing it, but our subject is the cookie. The cookie is being eaten by the Cookie Monster. The subject of the verb in the passive voice does not perform the action of the verb. That's when we get this. The cookie is eating Cookie Monster. No, we don't want that, right? So when the verb expresses an action, something that's physical, the agent is introduced by this preposition par. So in our active voice, we have lit le livre. Lise is reading the book. This is an action, a physical action. There she is. In the passive voice, le livre est lu par Lise. The book is being read by Lise. When the verb expresses a state of being, like loving, respecting, adoring, those type of things, these aren't physical actions. So the agent is introduced by the preposition de. So if we take the sentence, tout le monde adore Claude Monet, everybody adores Claude Monet, active voice, transforming it, Claude Monet est adoré de tout le monde. But notice the English is the same translation. Claude Monet is adored by everybody. Okay, so now you need to get involved. So how do you conjugate verbs using the passive voice? Regardez ces exemples. We have several examples. Every single one of them is in the passive voice. Take out a sheet of paper, take a look, try and find the patterns. What do you see that's the same in each one of these sentences? What is the common thread that we see? What is necessary for the passive voice? There's a couple things. Pause this video, give it some thought, and then start it up again when you're ready. So la clé, of course, is the verb être. That's your key to your success. So step 1, être needs to be conjugated in the tense or mood of the sentence. So for example, the story is being read. Is being is in the present tense. So when we translate that into French, l'histoire est lue. Être is now conjugated in the present tense. So est. Step 2, the action verb is conjugated into its past participle. So the story is being read. The verb to read is lire, and its irregular past participle is lu. Therefore, l'histoire est lue. Right? That's the next part of it. That action verb is now turning into an adjective describing what's being done to that subject. Lastly, for step 3, like you always do with the verb être, you now have to make your past participle agree with the subject. The story is being read. The story is feminine. So l'histoire est lue. We took our past participle lu. We added an e to make it agree with l'histoire. We would do the same thing if it were plural. We would add an s. And if it were feminine plural, we would add es. So we always make that past participle agree. Bon, c'est votre tour. Now it's your turn. So before you transform these active sentences into the passive voice, which is our end goal, first I want you to identify the tense being used. So take a look carefully at these sentences. Charles achète la voiture. Charles achète la voiture. What tense is achète? Degas, Renoir et Monet ont fondé l'impressionnisme. What tense is ont fondé? What tense is being used? Nous verrons l'exposition d'art le 29 novembre. What tense is verront? Okay, now let's take these active sentences and transform them into the passive voice. Pause the video, take a moment to do this, and then check your answers. Avez-vous réussi? Charles achète la voiture. La voiture est achetée par Charles. La voiture is now our subject. It's feminine. We need to make that agreement. And of course, the tense is present. So therefore, we conjugated être in the present tense. La voiture est achetée par Charles. Degas, Renoir et Monet ont fondé l'impressionnisme. We're now going to flip the sentence to make it passive. So, l'impressionnisme is our subject, a été fondé par Degas, Renoir et Monet, and of course in the passé composé. Lastly, nous verrons l'exposition d'art le 29 novembre. Le 29 novembre, l'exposition d'art sera vue par nous, futurs. Très bien. I hope you learned a lot. À la prochaine.